Why is my wife unhappy now, but it seems like everything else has been the same? I'm Jeff Allen with Great Men Move Mountains. Welcome back. And a man recently asked me a question about the hedonic treadmill. Mark Manson has made a video on this. He speaks about this in his book, Models and in Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And a man asked me these questions. Why is she unhappy now in our marriage, even though things seem to be the same as the past? Well, he says over the past 10 years, they've settled into something akin to the hedonic treadmill. Quite often, weekends include binge drinking and socializing with the same people, and then rinse and repeat that behavior. Our marital problems came to a head in April this year, so that would have been 8 months ago now. And I'm not sure what realized a temporary rough patch means, but so the shit hit the fan and he stopped drinking mid-May. After starting this work in October, so 2 months ago, and living apart since 3 months ago, I started questioning the relationship. Specifically, Mark Manson's you attract the people that are on your maturity level. And I don't want the treadmill in marriage version 2.0. So even if she did come back, does he want this relationship? Does he want the same version or the same type of relationship of the past? And that's what he's questioning. Maybe the answer is in the question. Neither of us want marriage 1.0 any longer, but if we're unable to mature during our time apart, it's time to move on. This man has been doing his own self work. There's a lot behind that. I teach men every day in one-on-one coaching and in our group coaching membership of how to move forward when she says she wants space, she loves you but not in love with you, and how to figure out what mistakes that you've been making you're not even aware of, how you can fix those quickly and move forward and have the best chance of having version 2.0 of your marriage. Now, one of those options after you better yourself is you may not want to be back with the same woman that she was, so to speak. You may not want to go back to that same type of relationship, and that's what this man is asking. So let's dig into this a little bit. You Google hedonic treadmill, and I found this from Psychology Today. The hedonic treadmill or hedonic adaptation is the process by which positive or negative effects on happiness fade over time. So something may make you happy, but then you're no longer happy over time. It just fades, and this is called hedonic adaptation. Well, it starts with a craving. Discontentment rises as you start to shift your attention to the next new exciting thing. Novelty, a new purchase, experience, or other life change brings a rush of excitement. And then adaptation. Excitement and happiness return to normal as the new thing becomes a familiar, regular part of your life. And this says the emotional reward of buying new things can feel euphoric, but over time it traps us chasing a form of happiness that never lasts. So where do we source happiness? What do we believe relationship is for? Why are we in relationship? And do we believe happiness comes from outside of us? Or how do we cultivate that? Where does happiness come from or contentment come from within us? Well, Calvin and Hobbes, if good things lasted forever, would we appreciate how precious they are? Well, maybe, maybe not. It depends on where we think those good things or that happiness comes from. One of the reasons that she wants space or what is she running away from, number two here is maybe she's feeling suffocated, whether that's real or perceived. And so this man is wondering, is this a form of hedonic adaptation that she's perceiving to feel suffocated now, that she perceives that she needs space? Well, when we first get together, maybe she feels safe in the relationship and attracted, and we feel masculine and powerful, let's say. That's what the mustache and the umbrella are here to represent. And so we form attachment to one another. Then we come to a form of equilibrium with one another. And this man is talking about, well, included with that was drinking and socializing and this external source of happiness. This way that they were about with each other had to do with a lot of drinking, and that became the norm for them. Well, what draws us together in the first place? Why do we want relationship? And then over time, can we help that relationship has less draw toward one another? Well, I would say, what do you believe relationship is for? And what else is there in between the two of you? How are you sourcing your happiness? Is it from outside of you, or is it from inside the relationship that you have together? What are you blooming together? How do you see love coming from within you, from your soul, from your heart? Or is it just a matter of you pay the bills and I'll offer you sex? Is it just a matter of, oh, I guess we'll get by and, each of us is happy within ourselves? Or what causes and helps a relationship to stay fresh, a marriage to stay joyous and happy over time? Well, that third entity, that source of happiness, must come from within each of us individually and what we give to the relationship. Some people might say this is energy from love or from the universe or from God. And I say that we cultivate this consciously. We cultivate this as the depth of connection between the two of us, the love that we bloom between the two of us, which doesn't automatically happen. You, as the man, need to lead into that value, and she, as the woman, wants you to lead toward that and blooms love in between the two of you as well. It's a shared thing that the two of you have. And then the love and the happiness, so to speak, comes from within. It doesn't need to come from drinking. It doesn't need to come from external validation. It doesn't need to come from we're just each happy within ourselves and we have a relationship together, but we bloom this love with each other together. Part of being a man is having masculine frame, offering emotional safety, and being able to lead in intimacy, and that's what I teach. And masculine frame has these three pieces. You see yourself as the hero of your own life, the protagonist within your personal vision. Everything is not done just for her or for someone else or for some future amorphous event. It's you are the hero of your own life and you see it that way. You have confidence in your direction and purpose. You know what you want and you say it, and you're aware of and in control of your emotions. That's how we offer emotional safety and frame and the basis for leadership and intimacy. I can certainly dive more into this if you want to ask me to talk one-on-one, of course, and you can look down in the links below for that. Otherwise, check all of our other YouTube videos. And so this hedonic treadmill doesn't need to be one where happiness ebbs and flows down to nothing, especially if you source this from within, which is what I would encourage and what I teach. But if we think happiness comes from outside of us, we're going to be sorely mistaken. And certainly Calvin and Hobbes have a point here in that if good things lasted forever, how would we appreciate how precious they are? I'll see you in the next video.